Yeah, baby, I sure did have fun with you tonight. I was a little skeptical about going to the strip club, with my wife and everything, but I had fun. We're gonna have to do this more often, baby. I love you. Let's get on out of here. Man, it looks like it's the right time for us to go. It's all type of people out here. People parked all around our cars, man. People standing around the car. Come on, baby, let's get on out of here for real. No, he didn't, dude. It's sitting on my car. I'ma chill out, baby. I'ma chill out. Hey, bro, we about to get on out of here, man. You mind, getting up off my car, please? I don't want to pull off of you sitting on the back of my car, man. I appreciate it, bro. What you mean, do I got a problem, bro? I asked you nicely, man. I'm asking you nicely again. Please, I ain't trying to get loud at you. Could you please get off my car? Me and my wife, we trying to leave, dog. Please, could you please get off my car, man? Hey, baby, you got that thing on you? You got that thing on you? This dude that hit me in my mouth, I'm bleeding, and he won't get off my car. He gonna disrespect me, disrespect my wife. You think this is a game? You think this is a joke? You think this is a joke? Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Oftentimes when I tell my stories, I really try to paint a picture so that individuals that have never been into the system, never had an arrest, never, been to jail a day or a night in their life. I try to paint that picture and that image so that you all will vividly understand exactly what I'm speaking of. Now, before we get into today's video, if you will, I am the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better, meaning that anytime I drop a video, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you just don't feel like being there, as we typically don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry, you're trying to lay down and take a nap, perhaps you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to this video. Or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword true, penitentiary slash life story. This is the channel for you. If you like the 12, 13, 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I'm Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. And I'm Mr. 30 Minutes or Better for a reason. So with all that being said, there is a message. As I mentioned, you have people that have never stepped foot in a jail. Never even probably had a traffic ticket. And so some of the language that, I speak may be foreign to them. So I try my best to break it down. Come on, kids, we already know this stuff. Get to the story, motherfucker. Simmer down. Be patient. See, there's other individuals, everybody hasn't done 10 years, 11 years, 15 years, 3 years in the Department of Corrections. You have people that commit crimes on a regular basis, and perhaps in their mind, because they haven't been caught, they don't feel as though they're committing crimes. It's kind of like a lie. See, a lie is a lie. There's no real such thing as, I lied, but it was a little white lie. No, a lie is a lie. A crime is a crime. Perhaps you cheat on your taxes. Perhaps you got some money, some cash that was under the table and you didn't claim that. Those things will land you in prison. You do it enough. Say you had a couple drinks, you feel just fine, no problem. You go on, jump in your car and drive. You could legally be drunk, although you feel perfectly fine. You like to indulge a little bit, get high. You like to, sniff a little bit or, pop in pills or whatever. But, you function and you still go to work. You only do it on the weekends or once a month or twice a month or, and it's under control in your mind. Well, what do you think that is when you go and purchase? When you go and cop those pills or that white girl? Urban Dictionary, cop, buy, purchase. All of these things are crimes. All of these things are felonies. But you've just had the fortune of not being caught up. Anybody can get caught up. Anybody can have a criminal record. Anybody can be a convicted felon because it's so easy. It is so easy to become a felon. Sometimes you're committing a crime and you don't even know that you're committing a crime. Now, 9 times out of 10, you do know, but there are instances to where you commit a crime and you don't even know. And the next thing you know, you're a convicted felon. Situation, and I've told this story before, but it was several months ago when I wasn't really getting a lot of views. However, the views that I did get, I greatly appreciated them. Several months ago when I told this story. Now, I'm going to go into a little bit, I'm going to go deeper into depth with the story this time. So if you've already heard the story, don't even trip. Just rock with me, man. Los was he was a young dude. Kind of looked like he was mixed with Puerto Rican and black. Probably about 150, 160 pounds. Maybe 5'6", 5'7", probably, if that tall. I want to say closer to the 5'6" size. Height, rather. Los is driving one day, not bothering nobody. He doesn't have his music turned up loud. He doesn't have, rims on his car. He may have had some tin or something like that. But nothing out of the norm. He gets pulled over. Officer pulls him over. You know why I pulled you over? No, I don't, officer. No, sir, officer. You wasn't wearing your seatbelt. Officer, no disrespect, but I clearly have my seatbelt on. I'll never get in my vehicle without my seatbelt. Now, mind you, Los has tint on his windows. License, registration, hands him all of that. License, registration, insurance. Everything checks back. Comes back clean, rather. I'm sorry. So when he comes back, everything's cool. Where you traveling to? I'm going, wherever I'm going. No big deal. It wasn't like he was on the highway. And even if he was on the highway, so what? Why do I have to tell you all where I'm traveling to? Thought this was a free country. Have you been smoking? Smell marijuana? No, I haven't, officer. So do you mind if I search your vehicle? Well, I don't really mind, but at the same time, what is the reason? I'm kind of in a rush. What is the reason for wanting to search my vehicle? Well, as I mentioned, I smell marijuana. Well, no, I don't give you permission to search my vehicle. They bring in the dogs. Step out of the vehicle. Put him in cuffs. You're not under arrest. You're being detained. They love to say that. Police love to say, you're not under arrest, yet I can't leave. I can't leave on my own free will, but I'm being detained for my protection. K9 jumps out. He runs around the car. Like there's 2 or 3 keys of cocaine in the car. Thoroughly search the vehicle, tear the vehicle up, pat him down. They don't find anything on him, on his persons. Inside the vehicle, they find a small amount of marijuana. A couple grams of marijuana. They find less than 4 grams of that white girl, that cocaine. Maybe about $350 in cash on him. No weapons, no hard drugs, nothing. That's what they find. So the dog was right, when he got that hit, but he was going off, like I said, as though it was, 2, 3, 4 keys in the car. Respectfully. He's taken into custody. Now, in a lot of other states, when they find a small amount on you like that, man, a lot of times the officers will just take it, throw it out the window, keep it for their own personal use, or they may write you a citation. No big deal. Not in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, my friend. No, no, no. There's a guy named Ray Larson that for years was the Commonwealth attorney, hated felons, hated criminals, I think he hated himself. Now, unfortunately for Ray Larson, he's no longer with us. But he prosecuted every single case to the max, full capacity. He's throwing the book at you. Ray Larson lobbied for no parole in Kentucky, no good time, and no probation. All criminals should serve 100% of their time, despite whatever the charges were, whatever the charges may have been. Thankfully, they didn't pass that bill here. They just passed it in Louisiana, from what I understand. But thankfully, they didn't pass that law in Kentucky. And so when they took him to jail, instead of writing him the ticket or the arrest report, writing it as simple possession of a controlled substance, they made it trafficking intent. You didn't find any baggies. He didn't find any scales. As I mentioned, it was less than 4 grams. A small amount of marijuana and like less than $400 on it. They charge him with trafficking. Tremendous difference between simple possession and trafficking. Simple possession would have meant his bond probably would have been about $5,000. There's no bail bondsman in Kentucky, and there's no automatic 10%. So your bond is what your bond is. You have to get you an attorney, you go to court, and, plead with the judge to lower your bond. Until then, your bond is going to be what your bond is, in most cases. Charging with trafficking, controlled substance, bond is $50,000. Possession of marijuana. So he sits in jail a couple months. Eventually his bond gets reduced to like $5,000. His people come and get him out. Now the whole time his lawyer is arguing and pleading with the judge like, Your Honor, this is not trafficking. He's a user. He's a user. He's getting high. So how can this be, trafficking? I can see if he got caught with, 30 grams, 28 grams. Y'all know what I'm saying. But no, he got caught with less than 4 grams. I am a personal user. I need help. Prosecution wasn't going for that. First time, this guy has never had a criminal record. He had a couple little misdemeanors, but no prior felonies. He wants to take his case to trial. Only problem is, he's facing up to 10 years. He's facing up to 10 years, and they're offering him 2 years. What do you do? He don't really have a whole lot of money, so his attorney, he's using a legal aid attorney. I think eventually he ended up getting like a real attorney, but he wasn't really a trial attorney. See, there's a difference between a trial attorney and a cop-out attorney. A cop-out attorney is just going to get you a plea deal. But a trial attorney, they're going to treat that attorney a little bit different because they know that he's aggressive, she's aggressive, and they're willing to go to trial. Not only are they willing to go to trial, they will go to trial and win. Well, he wants to go to trial, but, he's afraid. They drop it down to possession. He pleads to the 2 years, and they give him probation. Possession carries 1 to 5. Actually, now it carries 1 to 3. So you almost copped out, pled guilty to the maximum amount that you could have got going to trial. You see what I'm saying? Because he pled guilty for 2 years. The most that the jury could have given him was 3 years, and that's at the absolute most. Problem is, they overcharged him. Overcharged him with trafficking when it never even should have been trafficking. It should have been possession. So now he's a convicted felon. On probation for 5 years. You mess up, you go back and do 2 years. He's on probation, he's working, he's doing everything, has some kids, a couple kids or what have you, staying all the way out of the way. He ends up violating his probation. I don't know, he failed a couple drug tests or whatever. The same marijuana that's legal in a whole lot of states now that they're, coming out with dispensaries popped up everywhere. He got high a couple times. They violated his probation, sent him to prison. Commonwealth of Kentucky for you. So when they sent him to prison, guess what? He's on child support. He's on child support. His, $280, $300 a month that he's paying prior to going to prison, he's unable to pay that while he's in prison. Well, you would think that the court system would say, okay, he is in prison, so let's just, put these child support payments on hold, and then once he comes home, once again, Commonwealth of Kentucky doesn't look at it like that. Look at it that way. These kids still need to be taken care of, and I understand that. These kids still need to be fed. I understand that. But at the same time, how can anybody take care of their kids from prison unless you in prison doing some dirt and you have the money to, send out like that? He's doing a 2-year bid. 2 years in Kentucky is not 2 years. So he probably ended up doing 13 months. He comes home. Only problem is the 13 months that he did, those child support payments were steadily piling up on him, accumulating on him. Anything over $1,000 that you get behind in child support in Kentucky, flagrant non-support. He comes home, they give him a small opportunity to catch up, but who's going to catch up that fast? Goes to court, his lawyer, once again, he's pleading for him. My client's been in jail. He's been incarcerated. There's no way he can make these payments. Prosecution, they don't care anything about that. Another felony conviction on his record. 2-time felon now. One over a simple possession. A small amount of coca leaves. Coca leaves, man. You know the coca leaves that I told you all about when the dog was going around the car? That coca leaves. And flagrant non-support. Took care of his kids, loved his kids. Just couldn't pay the child support. Now, things have changed within the system as far as the child support. Back then, this is exactly what it was. 2-time felon. Didn't bother nobody, man. Being that you're a felon, you're not supposed to possess a firearm or even be around a firearm. He's out. He's out several years. He didn't serve the first time out, the cocaine charge. The child support, he didn't walk that down. When I say walk it down, meaning that he's gotten through the system with that, like walked off the parole, probation, whatever he was on for that. So now he's not in the system. Hadn't been in the system for a good 4.5 years. Him and his wife. Not his girl, his wife. They decide, you know what? We're going to go out one night. Now y'all rock with me. I understand that this video is going to be a little long. But guess what? That's what the truck drivers like, man. They get so much love from the truck drivers. Pause. Not double, triple pause. And the people that work the 12-hour shifts, 10-hour shifts, even the 8-hour shifts. We love your long videos. It really, really helps us get through our shit. So y'all rock with me. If you rocking with me, man, jump in my comments and let me know that you rocking with Real Kens. And let me know where you rocking with me from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Respect. Los and his wife decide they gonna go out, kick it one night or what have you. They end up at the strip club. Now I know a whole bunch of couples that like to frequent or from time to time go to the strip club together. I've never personally done it, but I've definitely seen several couples do so. I don't really even go. I probably ain't been in a strip club in 15 years. But to each his own. They go to the strip club. They having, all types of fun. He's drinking. She don't really drink. So she's going to be the one driving. So he's drinking, but he's not a big drinker or whatever. They just having a good time. They come out of the strip club. When they go to his car, it's about 6 or 7 people that are standing around his car. Parking lot's crowded or what have you. So it's not like they pinpointed his car. They just happen to be, in the vicinity of his car. Well, one of the dudes is sitting on the back of his car. He's looking. His girl, come on, baby. Let's go. Don't worry about it. They'll get up. They'll see we can ready to leave. They'll get up. Lo says, hold on, I'm driving now. I got this. She gets in the passenger seat. He gets in the driver's, he's going to pull off. As he's going to pull off, he notices that dude is still sitting on the back of his car. And doesn't intend to get up. Say, bruh, I'm about to pull off, man. You mind getting off my car? What if I don't? I'm just asking you nicely, man. I'm getting ready to leave. I don't want to, you potentially fall off the car or whatever. I'm about to pull out, man. Could you please get off my car? Now, Los had a nice car. Nice paint job, flip-flop, nice rims, nice vehicle. So his partners that's in front, they start to instigate. Oh, what's up, man? So bitch-ass nigga got a problem? What, you got a problem? Bro, I'm just asking you, your peoples, to get off my car, man. A couple of them sit on the front of the car. Now we sitting on your car. What's up? What you gonna do about it? For whatever reason, I do not know. If I was in Los's that predicament, I probably just would have pulled off. He doesn't pull off. He's being a nice guy. He's trying to plead and in a sense, I guess, negotiate with these people to get off of his car. One of the dudes walks around to the window, socks him, bust his whole mouth up. He bust him right in his mouth. Los ain't hearing that. Los gets out of the car. When he gets out of the car, he's fighting the one dude. They one-on-one. Next thing you know, 3 or 4 of them, they jump in. They stomping him, kicking him, beating him or whatever. All because they didn't want to get off of his vehicle. His girl is she done jumped out of the car. She's trying to help. Dude done slapped her. Come on, baby. Let's go. Get on in the car. Get on in the car. He's going back to the car. He finally is able to, get away. They kind of let up off of it. They talking crazy. They laughing at him. Everybody out there is laughing. Nobody's trying to help. Nobody's trying to say, hey, bro, y'all chill out, man. Let that man go on about his business, bro. Let him go, man. Y'all in the wrong. Let him go. Nah, they cheering him. Get him. Get him. Los goes back to the car. He goes back to the car. They run back to the car after it. Like I said, they let up, but then I guess, they was intrigued by what the crowd was saying and came back. They were re-energized. They swinging on him. He's raising the window up. They beating, kicking the car or whatever. He can't get the window all the way up because they're, they got their arms in the window or whatever. He grabs his girl's gun. Now, 9 times out of 10, it was probably his, but his girl had it. His girl had it. He grabs the gun. They see the gun, they back up. Once again, this is another opportunity for Los to pull out. He don't pull out. He gets out of the car. What's up, man? Back up. I told y'all to back up. Dude runs up on Los. Man, you ain't gonna do nothing, man. I'm telling you, bro. Let me go, man. Leave us alone, man. Dude hits him. Boom, steals him. He got the gun. Dude steals him in his mouth. Boom, hits him again. Los takes that gun. Bow! Fires on him. Hits him twice. Boom, boom. Everybody scatters. Everybody runs. They jump in the car. They gone. Later on that night, police had, surveillance. Probably the next day, actually. Police had the surveillance. Had his face on the news. Wanted for murder. Dude did not make it. He's wanted for murder. He don't want to go down there and turn himself in. But he knows that that's the best thing to do. His family, he comes from a good family, what have you. They tell him, hey, just do the right thing. Go down there and tell your side, tell your story. And everything should be okay. The problem is the police is typically not interested in learning the real truth. They just want a conviction. They don't really want to, know and try to understand the situation at hand to where he genuinely feared for his life. He had his girl with his wife with him. They continuously try to leave, but they were being, in a sense, kidnapped because they weren't allowed to leave. Well, I guess he could have left. He would have probably ran over some people or, he didn't want to hurt anybody. His whole goal was to just get out of the situation unscathed. And he didn't want to do anything to anybody as far as that would cause and inflict pain or harm. He's talking to the detective. Bad mistake. Never talk to the detectives. They're not your friends. You're not in the interrogation room for nothing. You're in there for a reason. He's talking to the detectives without an attorney. Never in life do that. Don't say nothing. I need an attorney. Okay, this is your only chance. Talk to us and tell us, and we can talk to the DA, and this is your only opportunity because once a jury hears this case, they're going to look at you as a animal, a beast. I need an attorney. Are you sure? I need an attorney. Well, you will be going to jail this evening since you don't want to talk to us. I need an attorney. Period. Don't say I don't know, I didn't know, I was there, I wasn't there, I heard about it. I need an attorney. Fifth Amendment. It's your right to do so. Based on his statement, him admitting that he was there, admitting that, he had the gun, he fired, but out of protection, all of that didn't matter. Book him, Dano. Take him to the county jail. Murder. Now he's in the county jail. The dude that he unalived was a dude that he had a large family. Everybody knew him. So it wasn't safe for him to be in the county jail. Now he tells his people that they automatically put him in protective custody. Well, it doesn't work like that unless you're a celebrity. He most likely went to the people and requested, his attorney requested that he be put into protective custody. There was too many people that had a problem with him. Again, they have a problem with him because he defended himself. But all they looking at, they're not even considering that. Their whole thing is, man, you took our people. So now we about to take you. He's in the county jail for several months. The judge gives him a break. She gives him a bond. But he's on like house arrest. Ray Larson, Commonwealth attorney, he's furious. He wants this judge removed from the bench, from the seat. Judge Goodwine, only black judge that was there at the time. Problem is, they must have a black judge, so they couldn't remove her. He could not stand Goodwine because he said that she was too lenient on criminals. She would give bonds to where other judges wouldn't give a bond. She would give probation. She would give second and third and fourth chances instead of just sending people straight to the penitentiary. Ray Larson wasn't with that whatsoever. He believed you mess up one time, take your ass to prison. Figure it out there. Couldn't stand Judge Goodwine. As I mentioned, she blesses him. He's allowed to go home. And, he has to take drug tests every week. He's allowed to work. He's allowed to go to the grocery store, keep a job. Like I said, he's under home confinement. So all of that time that he's doing actually counts towards his sentence. Being that it's a murder case, man, it's going to take a couple years at least. Sometimes longer. They understand the significance of this charge because they hit him with murder. And they hit him with being a felon in possession of a handgun. And they hit him with being a persistent felony offender, which is a habitual offender. He was facing 20 to life. 20 to life off top. His dad went and sold one of his vehicles and hired an attorney. The attorney wanted like 60, 70,000. But he was like one of the best, if not the best at the time, defense trial lawyers that they offered. He would go to trial and beat him, and the prosecution didn't like going to trial with Baldani. That was his name. Is his name actually, Baldani. He gets Baldani. They're trying to get the case dismissed. Self-defense. Again, Ray Larson's not hearing that. Prosecution's not hearing that. They're getting threats, death threats. When we see Los, man, it's on. He's hearing all of these, quiet whispers. They're not even quiet whispers in the streets. They're loud whispers. They're looking for him, supposedly. He ends up taking it to trial. Because every deal that they're offering is like 20 years, do 85%. 25 years, do 85%. No, I'm not taking no 20 years and I have to do 85% of that time. 17 years on the 20-year sentence when all I was doing was defending myself. He takes it to trial. When he goes to trial lasts, for about a week or so. Jury goes in at the conclusion of the trial, deliberate. Count 1, murder. And whatever degree it was, second degree, we find the defendant not guilty. Whole family's happy. In the meanwhile, you got the dude, the victim. I don't even want to call him a victim, but the dude who was unalive, his family, they're not happy about that whatsoever. They're in the courtroom on the other side. Count 2, manslaughter. We find the defendant not guilty. Count 3, because the police overcharge you, as I always mention. So they're just going to throw all type of charges. Count 3, tampering with physical evidence, not guilty. Now, the tampering with physical evidence means, okay, if I have something, let's just say I'm smoking some weed or something. A little misdemeanor. Police come over and they see me or they suspect that I'm doing it. The police. You take the weed, you throw it away, or you throw it to the side, or you try to hide it, and they end up finding it. They charge you with tampering with physical evidence, which carries 1 to 5. Dumbest charge probably that there is, but that's what they do quite often. So as I mentioned, count 3, not guilty. Tampering with physical evidence. Count 4, felon in possession of a handgun, guilty. Was found guilty. How can you really beat that? Well, his attorney was arguing that he didn't possess the gun. His wife had the gun. The problem is with that is possession is 9/10 of the law. But possession is a wide term, word that you would use. Because you may not have it on you, but if it's within your reach, that's considered possession. His wife possessed the gun, which she wasn't a felon. She was perfectly within her right to do so. He just wasn't supposed to be around the gun. His attorney, Baldani, he's arguing if he didn't have the gun, he probably wouldn't be here today to tell his story. These dudes was really trying to do damage to him along with his wife. That was the defense. The jury wasn't buying that. The only problem is when you go to trial, there's 2 phases of a trial. Y'all pay close attention right here. There's 2 phases of a trial. You got your actual trial, and then if you're found guilty, you go to the second phase, which is the sentencing phase. Once you go to the sentencing phase, see, the jury initially was only recommending a year. They was only trying to give him 1 year for possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, which would have meant all the time that he had already done on house arrest, he would have served that, time served. Well, once the jury went to the sentencing phase, they seen that he had 2 prior felonies. And in addition, a persistent felony offender is called PFO1, which is your 3rd felony. PFO1 carries 10 to 20 alone, on top of whatever time you get for the underlying offense. The jury seen his prior history. Oh, we thought this guy was just an innocent guy, because when he's on trial, they weren't allowed to bring up his prior history. We thought this guy was a good, stand-up guy, but he's a criminal. Possession, a small amount of party drug, and child support. They give him 12 years. They give him 10 years. They give him 11 years on being a persistent felony offender. And then they recommend the 1 year for the gun that he, got caught with, for a total of 12 years. He's devastated. They take him straight into custody. He comes back about a month later. That's how long it takes for them to final sentence you. He comes back. Judge, it's kind of like she flipped the script on him. She had been cool this whole time, and again, the judge was asking for leniency. He's asking for probation. Not the judge, Baldani, his attorney. I'm sorry. He's asking for probation. Yana, this is clearly a case of self-defense. If he didn't have this weapon, once again, we don't know him, along with his wife, if they would even be here. They have kids. They have, the judge wasn't impressed. I don't understand why you all were at a strip club anyway. Why would you put yourself in this predicament? Why would you put yourself in a dangerous environment such as that, knowing that you've already had these prior charges? Well, who's thinking about that? I mean, let's just keep it real. They're not looking at that like going to the strip club with my wife is a dangerous environment. Just going to the strip club, have a little fun, have a couple drinks, and we're going to leave, go about our way, our merry way. So the judge, she gives him a scolding, and you had this gun, and you knew that you weren't supposed to have this gun, but you had it anyway, so I have no choice but to sentence you to this time that the jury recommended, 12 years. And he goes to the joint. Well, actually, he goes back to the county jail. Has to go back to protective custody, because the people, like I said, they still after him, threatening him. He goes to prison. The prison that they sent him to is he's not eligible to go to a camp, so he has to go to a level 3, level 4 yard. Well, he gets lucky and he goes to one that's not very, all prisons are violent, don't get me wrong, but he ends up going to one that's not very violent. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a laid back yard. He gets into a couple scuffles. Every time he sees the parole board, they tell him to come back in, 18 months, 24 months. We'll think about letting you out then. On a 12-year sentence, with all the classes you can take, you can be out in about 7. He ended up doing a little bit over 7 total. And He was able to come home. He ends up coming home to his family. They have to move out of the city. Matter of fact, they had already moved out of the city because of all the threats that they were getting. He had no choice. See, the criminal system is designed for you to lose. It's designed for you to fail. Think about it. If he didn't have that attorney, if he didn't have that $60,000, $70,000 to pay Baldani, he probably would have been convicted at trial and doing a life sentence. The penitentiary is full of so many people that are incarcerated and doing all types of sentences, 40, 50, 60 years, and they got to do 85%. Not because they're guilty, but because they didn't really have the money to fight these charges. Yeah, he was guilty for being around a firearm, a handgun. But when you think about it, when you really, really think about it, is that a crime? Being able to protect yourself, being able to protect your family. Because I have a felony now and I don't have a right to protect myself. I'm at work the other night and a dude comes in. He got swastika signs all over him. He's white power. He got 100% redneck, 100% honky. And he got a big old cannon on his hip. Now, as he's walking into the restaurant, I'm standing outside. I'm talking to somebody. And I see him. He sees me. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. But I don't see this cannon on the other side of his hip. He's drinking a beer. He's clearly, intoxicated. He goes into the store. They get their order. They come back out. Dude is still looking at me. I'm not causing no trouble. I'm not saying anything to him. I'm not. So what if he causes trouble with me? What if he comes over there to me, man, you got a problem? Or he takes his weapon out, or he, lets me know, he wants me to know that he has. But I can't protect myself. I'm not allowed to protect myself, but you got these idiots all over. You can't even drive in traffic to, as soon as the light turns green, they laying on the horn. As though people don't run red lights. So as soon as the light turns green, I never just go. I wait and look for a couple seconds. Because these fools just run red lights as though it's legal. And police see it and don't do nothing. But want to pull me over because I don't have my seatbelt on. You got idiots everywhere flipping you off in traffic, trying to run you off the road. You know that they strapped. You know that they have something to protect themselves. But because I got felonies, non-violent felonies, several years ago, I'm not allowed to bear arms. Locking people up is a business. You've heard me say it 1,001 times, and I'll continue to say it. If they didn't lock the people up, like, for instance, they'll lock you up for anything. They got private prisons now. They got to keep these bed spaces, they got to keep them full. Only way we can keep them full is what? Lock people up. Now, the people that's out here committing heinous crimes and robberies and violent acts, obviously, and crimes against kids and things of that nature, yeah. But people, if you go into Walmart and you steal, no, you shouldn't go into Walmart and you shouldn't steal. And you steal over $500 worth of, retail, which is not even $500 for real. That's just retail amount. But nevertheless, you shouldn't steal. Okay, give them 6 months in the county. Every time we catch you stealing in Walmart, we're going to give you 6 months in the county, 9 months in the county, a year in the county. And if you don't want to take this year in the county, then we'll prosecute you and it'll be a felony. Eventually, you'll get tired of doing 12 months in the county jail, especially the county jail. But now they're going to prosecute you for being a felon. He's a convicted felon. Now they're going to throw at PFO on you, the habitual offender. Now something that at best you should have gotten a year on. Now you getting 10, 12 years. They got to keep these beds full. Convicted felons, man, you not only you can't vote, well, you get your voting rights back at some point, once you're not on parole or probation anymore. You're on probation, parole, you can't get life insurance, man. I tried to get life insurance, years ago. Couldn't even get life insurance. You got to be off probation or parole a minimum of 1 year and sometimes 2. Can't get a good job unless you know somebody. Unless you want to go slave in a factory. Nothing wrong with a factory. I'm just saying some factory jobs are easier than others. You got to go to a restaurant and get a job somewhere. to where they play with your hours. You don't make no money. You got to go sell cars and work 12, 13, 14 hours a day and beat people over the head with the price just to make your commission. Hard labor, construction. Not a whole lot of options for you out here if you're a convicted felon. There was one, I forget what it was, but there's a commercial that used to come on TV all the time. And they would often say, well, every commercial, we're a felony-free company. I think it was like a HVAC company, something like that. And apparently something must have happened because they stopped doing so. But the point that I'm making is, when you have a felony, people look at you so much different. You know, they don't look at you the same opposed if you didn't have a felony. This same person that probably commits felonies just hasn't been caught, or just, you know, isn't aware, quite sure that they're aware. The same person that's judging you is the same person that's over here doing the most and just hasn't been caught. I ran into Los not long ago. He's doing fine. Matter of fact, Los drives trucks. Came home, got his CDLs. That's another job, you know, that you can get with the felony. And, you know, he's moved out of the city. Hadn't had any problems. His kids is growing up just fine. You know, him and his wife are still together. And it's just one of those situations to where it's somewhat of a good ending. I don't want to say happy ending, because then I'd have to say pause. So it was a nice ending as far as him being able to, you know, he served his time and came home, hasn't been back to prison, hadn't had any problems in years. But it's always that outside threat, because people never forget. People never forget. So what is he supposed to do when he runs into this individual? Man, you unalived my peoples, you know, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. He still can't protect himself. So are you ever truly safe? Are you ever truly, truly safe? Something to think about, something to ponder on, man. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, you're amongst the first to receive. People not getting my their notifications that I'm dropping. Don't worry about it. We can't let that stop us. So every day, check the channel. Every other day, check the channel. I typically drop every single day. Every once in a while, I need to take a day to kind of retool and, you know, get my mind right. But 9 times out of 10, I'm dropping every day, man. Real Kens TV, man.